Hi there everybody, Richard Fulmer here. So it's been a while since I've done a video, a couple of weeks I think, maybe a bit longer. So I thought, okay, it's about high time I better show my ugly mug again to everybody. And in this video I'm going to chat about the music I've been listening to over the past couple of weeks. I recently had my aging turntable sorted, so it'll all be on vinyl that I've been listening to, because obviously while my turntable was being fixed I was only listening to CDs, and I took it to a place here in Cape Town in Observatory called Revolution Records. Great shop, been here for many years, and a gentleman by the name of Grant who sorted out my turntable, gave it a good clean. It was making a horrible buzzing noise, so we managed to sort that out and got it back. Dived into my vinyl collection, and that's what I'm going to be chatting about, what I've been listening to. It's a mixed bag as per usual, a bit of this and a bit of that. So let's get stuck in. It's not going to be too long. First one, now this is actually the the alternative cover of this album, because the original cover, yes, it was a little dodgy. Picked up a bit of flack. And if you know what the original cover looked like, you'll know what I'm talking about. Talking about the German band, the Scorpions, Virgin Killer. So there we have old Uli Jon Roth, the guitarist at the time. There's Rudolf Schenker. The drummer's name was Rudi Lenners. He was there before Herman Rebel. There's Klaus Meine. And there's the recently departed, in fact, Francis Buchholz, the bassist. Passed away about a month or so ago, I think. And there's the back photograph of the guys. So this came out, this must have been late 70s, 77 I think it is. Virgin Killer, a couple of great tracks on here. I'm quite a fan of the early Scorpions, very different to what they would become later. They became a massive band, very commercial, huge in the States, with bands, with albums like Love at First Sting and Love Drive, etc., etc. This was a little different. You know, the early stuff, especially with Uli Jon Roth and guitar, he was very influenced by Hendrix. So it's almost like psychedelic hard rock, really. But there were a few tracks that were kind of singles or radio friendly. Starts off with Pictured Life, Catch Your Train, In Your Park, Backstage Queen. I think that was a fairly big hit from this album. Then you get the title track, Virgin Killer. Side 2 is Hellcat, Crying Days, Polar Nights, another good track, and Yellow Raven. And I think Ulrich Roth, lead guitars, vocals on Hellcat and Polar Nights. So he does sing lead on a couple of tracks. That's just my dog charging into the bedroom, see if anything's okay. Not the best vocalist. Fantastic guitarist, but for me, not a great singer. But then, of course, you had Klaus Meine, who did all the main vocals, the lead vocals. Rudolf Schenker on rhythm guitars, Francis Buchholz, as I mentioned, on bass. And Rudi Lenners on drums and percussion. He was with him for a couple of albums, I think, in the early days. And then Herman Rebel would come and join them for the big time. Nothing much to show you inside. Yeah, the alternative cover of the Scorpions, Virgin Killer. Cool album. Oh, throwing stuff around here. Let's put it there. Next up, band from New York. And this was one of their early albums, and they all seem to have these sort of black and white covers. Not a bad track on this album. This was a really strong one from the early Blue Oyster Cult. Secret Treaties. There they are with the German aircraft called the Me-262, which is actually one of the tracks on the album. And there the guys standing next to I think that was one of the first jet aircraft to ever come around. Second World War, of course. And this is from 74, so early days. And yeah, there's some great stuff on here, which will become big hits for the band. Did I give you a lineup here? Yes. Donald Buck Dharma-Russo on lead guitar and vocals. Excellent guitarist, but underrated in my view. Eric Bloom, lead vocals, keyboards, and stun guitar. I've always wondered, what the hell is a stun guitar? Is it one that you can knock out people in the audience with? Anyway, it must mean something. Albert Bouchard on drums and vocals, Joe Bouchard on bass and vocals, Alan Lanier on keyboards, rhythm guitar, and all synthesizers. So obviously this is the early days of synthesizers. Starts off with Career of Evil, Subhuman, and then probably my favorite track, Dominance and Submission. Yes, read into that what you like. Great riffs from Eric Bloom on that track, and Donald Buck Damarusa on lead. Excellent stuff. Then you get the ME262. Then you get to side 2, KG Cretton's Harvester of Eyes, which was another hit from the album, Flaming Telepaths and Astronomy. Really strong album. If you're a Blue Oyster Cult fan, or if you're just getting into the music, this is one of the early ones that you should have in your collection. Secret Treaties by Blue Oyster Cult. There we go. That's my second choice, or the second one that I'm going to show you. Total 360. As I do, I want to listen to something a little bit different. And you don't get much more different from this gentleman than he could do anything, really. This isn't an album that's an immediate listen. Took me a while to get into. But of course, he surrounded himself with so many great musicians. And yeah, it was just out there. You either got this guy or you didn't. Talking about old Frank Zappa, the man from Utopia. I just love that cover. The broken guitar in his hand, and there we got the back. It's quite clever the way they've done that. That's the back. I'm not quite sure what that is. Looks like it's somewhere where you stick his battery in. Anyway, so who's on you? Frank Zappa, guitar, vocals, APR, Lynn, drum machine. Steve Vai. He was a prodigy in those days. It says Steve Vai, impossible guitar parts. Ray White on guitar and vocals, Roy Estrada on pituto, falsettos, etc. He had that really high voice. Bob Harris on soprano, Ike Willis, baritone, Bobby Martin keyboards, sax and vocals, he also had a high voice. Tommy Mars on keyboards, Arthur Tink Barrow on keyboards, bass, micro bass, Ed Mann on percussion, Scott Tunis on bass, Chad Wackerman on drums, brilliant drummer. Vinnie Kaluhuda drums as well on a few tracks. This guy had top-class musicians. Well, I guess you had to be to play with old Frank. Craig Stewart on harmonica, Dick Figge on mandolin, and Marty Crystal on saxophones. So it's a huge ensemble here. I'm not sure if this was the touring band as well, but definitely on this album. Some great tracks in there. The first one was my favorite. Cocaine Decisions. I just love Frank's lyrics on that track. All about, because when this came out, I think this was in the 80s. Was it 80s? Early 80s, I think. When you look for a date and you can't find the damn thing, should be on the record itself. 83, yes, I thought so. So at that stage, cocaine was very popular with bands and actors, and everybody was snorting stuff up their noses. So that's what that track's about, Cocaine Decisions. That goes into The Dangerous Kitchen, which that's one of the tracks that took me a while to get into. It's very strange. It's Frank. Tink Walks Amok, The Radio Is Broken, and Moggio, that's side 1. Then you get the title track, The Man from Utopia Meets Mary Lou, Stick Together, track just called Sex. And how's this for a title for a song? The Jazz Discharge Party Hats. There you go. Of course. But yeah, there's some stunning musicianship on this album. It's not apostrophe and it's not overnight sensation, which are probably a bit more accessible. It's one of the later ones. But yeah, I dig this album. Really enjoyed playing it the other night. And just remembering some of the great tracks. So there we go. Frank Zappa's The Man from Utopia. for those looking for something a little different. Another guitarist of note, Mr. Jeff Beck, There and Back. Excellent album, bit of jazz rock fusion, and that was his thing for a while. Probably more on the rock side of things here. And I mean, you got people like Jan Hammer on keyboards, Simon Phillips on drums. Of course, Simon Phillips played with Toto for about 10 years, and he's played with everybody else. Session drummer par excellence. Tony Hymas on keyboards. He would go on to be with Jeff Beck on quite a few albums. Mo Foster on bass. Yeah, that's about all the guys that play on here. Star Cycle, Too Much to Lose, You Never Know, The Pump, which has got some stunning guitar from Jeff Beck. He had such a unique style. You know, there was nobody like Jeff Beck. And if you watch him play, never used, well, I don't know about the early days, but I know towards the end, he never used a pick. And the things that his fingers could do on the fretboard were just amazing. Great player. Al Becker, The Golden Road, Space Boogie, another great track. And The Final Piece. This is on the Epic label. And this came out in 1980. Start of the 80s. Jeff Beck's There and Back. Very nondescript cover, but yeah. Excuse me, nothing else to show you inside. And that's that. Jeff Beck, There and Back. And then finally, something a little different for me. I can't remember where I got this. In fact, I think I may have got this from somebody who was just giving away their collection. It's a jazz album. It was new to me. And if you're looking for something, I think this came out in 1958. So you got the acoustic bass, piano and drums. Very different. But it's nice if you're in that kind of vibe, if you're in that kind of mood. What am I waffling on about? Down to Earth from the Ramsey Lewis Trio plays Music from the Soil. High Fidelity written down at the bottom of the vinyl there. High Fidelity, folks. Yes, this is 1958, so I guess maybe that was a thing. Yeah, it's jazz. Nice bits of piano playing on here, obviously. Really nice take on Green Sleeves. Last track on side one. What else can I tell you is on here? Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Where did I hear that line before? You know where I heard that? I'm sure that these names are going to escape me now. The guy that started Woodstock with the acoustic guitar, I'm sure he played a track called Motherless Child. Or Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child was in the song. Yeah, the old memory's going here. What the hell was his name? No, it's not going to come to me. He had wore like a robe on stage, sandals, and just an acoustic guitar. And he started off the whole Woodstock 3-day thing. I'll get it eventually, but not now. Yeah, so this is jazz, 50s jazz, good stuff, if that's your vibe. One evening I just thought, I actually forgot I had this. And I was looking through my collection, I got my turntable back, see what I can play. And I think I'd only listened to this about once or twice before. And it's great to revisit stuff, you play something for the third or fourth time. And often the case that you hear stuff that you didn't hear the first time because, it was all new to you and you get into it a bit more after a few listens. And yeah, very nice. There we go. That's my what I've been listening to. Not everything, but just the main things, the vinyl. And I shall catch you again soon. I know it's been a while since I've been busy with all sorts of other business here. And obviously I didn't have my turntable. I think the last video I did was just CDs. Sorting a few other things out here. And I was actually trying to get into... I've been really enjoying a gentleman by the name of John Bellamy. He's on the vinyl community here on YouTube, and he's been doing heavy metal collections and hard rock, so maybe I should get stuck into that. Do it alphabetically like he's done. That could be quite a project. That's for something future. Take it easy, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Down below, give us the old thumbs up if you enjoyed. And if you haven't done so yet, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Richard's Rock Rambles. It's a channel where we just chat about music basically. Don't get too involved. Stuff you may know about, stuff you may not know about. That's the whole joy of music. You discover something new every day. And yeah, that's me. I'm out of here. Autumn here in Cape Town. Beautiful weather. Not too hot, not too cold. Just right. Great for taking the dogs for a walk. And yeah, I'm sure winter will be around in the next couple of months. Howling northwesters and freezing cold. But hey, that's cool. I prefer winter to the blazing hot summers. Getting on, you know. Take it easy, guys. I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.